Hey, what's happening, y'all? Reggie Rogers, Power Jams, the Wake Up Show, celebrating 30 years of broadcasting ministry. Join us each weekend at powerjams.org for the very best urban contemporary gospel music with the word. And the word is really where it's at. Matter of fact, I want to bring a word. And it's a word that I can't even say that I've ever heard in, wow, let's think, 31 years of salvation. I don't think I've heard from the pulpit this verse of scripture. I don't recall hearing someone teach on this verse of scripture. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 29. Yeah, I can't recall a sermon, and there's a lot. You know, I've heard of quite a few, just like we have in our memory banks all the classic hits from the 70s, 80s, 90s. It's amazing how much we have, in the corridors of our mind. Well, I have sermons in the corridors of the mind. I have teachings in the corridors of the mind. But this one right here, I can say in all the churches I've visited, churches I've been a member of, yeah, this one is like, and I know why. And once I read it, you'll say, yeah. Pastor ain't gonna talk about this one. They're not gonna teach on this one. They're not gonna expound on, you know, this verse of scripture right here. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 29. It sounds like this. The New Living Translation, because it's a little clearer, a little plain, Anybody can kind of hear it. There's no thus and thous and things that are kind of shake and bake you. Check this out. It says, don't use foul or abusive language. Let everything you say be good and helpful so that your words will be an encouragement to those who hear them. Did you hear that suggestion right there? It's not a suggestion, y'all. It's a commandment. It's your Father in heaven saying, don't use these words. Period. So when you hear someone who, quote, claims to be a Christian using foul and abusive words, makes it hard to believe that they Christian. Christian, that word that we use back in the Bible days, it, was almost like slang. There go the Christians. It just means little Christ. Like Christ. Look at them, the little Christians. There's nowhere in Scripture, there's nowhere in the red letters in any Bible where Jesus cursed, used foul language. It's a reason that this is not a suggestion. It's a commandment. So the next time you hear someone who, quote, claim they Christ-like, they Christian, pause and remember this verse. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 29. Don't use foul or abusive language. Let everything you say be good and helpful so that your words will be an encouragement to those who hear them. I'm going to go a step further. A lot of folks know I'm a big Dallas Cowboy fan going all the way back to, 75, 76. And in being a Dallas Cowboy fan, it's hard not be a Deion Sanders fan. I like Deion Sanders. I've always been a fan of his. No longer a fan, but I like what he stands for. At least some of it. One of the things I don't like at all is that he's raising men, and he's doing a really good job at it. But when I hear the music playing in the background, the music that he allows in his area of influence makes me look at him sideways. Like, okay, it's great that you don't cuss. That's good. That's good. But you allow cursing in your circle of influence? You allow that to be the chants coming from young men? You allow them to be programmed by those who cheer these chants with a melodic sound up under it. That's not being blameless. And it's almost cringeworthy and makes me think, as a leader, you're going to let that be a chink in the armor? You're going to let that be an area of concern? Hey, I commend him. He stopped playing house. I don't know, how he ended relationship with the young lady, but he ended it. And I was in favor of that. I'm like, hey, man, you can't be preaching God and putting God on the throne and, doing this, that, and the third and putting God's name in there, and you ain't walking out these words. I mean, they're not suggestions. These are commandments. And so anybody who know Dion, let him know, hey, clean up the locker room. Let your young men know that, hey, wait a minute. What you feed your mind and your spirit can't be no conflict of interest. It says it right here. It's not a suggestion. Ephesians chapter 4:29. Let's walk it out.